Are you gonna show a video?
Oh yeah.
We'll play your video on a bit as well. Hello everyone. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. How's
Local
it going?
experimentalist here with HKSV. What are we talking about tonight, H?
We'll let more people come in so we can talk about it. But I suppose we're going on about the World Economic Forum, which was set up in 1971.
Before
And
we talk
Klaus
about
Schwab.
the history, um, why we're gonna be talking about this? Why are you so interested in this?
I suppose everyone's been going on about the New World Order and stuff for years and years, and I suppose this is like a vehicle towards that New World Order, maybe. Or it
What
is the New World Order, maybe. I don't know. So I don't know. That's
so
what the
new
sort
world?
of things I've always been interested in is like the power of the world and who controls it and what's what.
Yeah.
It's always been an interest of mine, I suppose.
So
Not that I
new world
support it,
order,
I'm always
the
been against it.
the future basically. Um,
Yeah, it's like globalization and
right. Okay.
globalization.
Let's say hello to a few people in the chat. We've got Dafta. Hello, Dafta.
Good
Good
evening.
evening, mate. Thanks for joining the stream. Mrs. J, hello. Uh,
Evening.
Age is waiting for some more compliments.
Miami Rose, evening. Mickey
Oh,
Mouse,
she's always
everyone.
here. She's a legend. Yes. Hello, Miami Rose. Is it Miami?
Miami.
Yeah, Miami. Hello, Mickey Mouse, another legend. Thanks for joining. How's your evening, buddy? Um,
Hit the like, spread it around.
yes, guys, hit the likes. Put one in the chat if you've bashed the like button. If you can share on your Facebooks, on your Instagrams, on your Telegrams, on your Discords, yeah, that would be good. Get some new people on. Uh, Maybe they'll jump up. You guys are useless. You guys never jump up and say, you know, what you guys believe and what you guys can add to the subject. Oh, we see loads of ones. Yes, like the old times.
One, that's it. That's what you want to see. Put
I
one in
used
the
to see
chat.
my, I used to see like my screen just full of ones for like 1 minute or something, 30 seconds.
I suppose they want to keep the algorithm low on this one.
Yeah, it pushes
Maybe.
the ones push the it changes everything. Ones. I was on a stream once, and this is where I got the idea of the one. He said put something in the chat, and everyone put it in the chat, and from 3,000 viewers, it went to 13,000 viewers. You know,
Fuck.
in that space of just putting spamming the chat with that letter or something. You know, so I thought of the one.
Right.
But yeah, recently, YouTube have changed their layout. Now you can't hide your subscriber count.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So yeah.
Didn't know
So
that.
anyone that's hiding their subscriber count, it's going to be shown now.
Public. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why, some silliness, you know, with all this new silliness going on in the world. The generation before, after us. You know? It's not even that. What's a generation? 10 years.
Just like
Next generation.
one person's lifetime, I suppose.
Oh.
And then if they have a kid, that's the next generation.
Hello, Token.
Good evening, Token. There's more people coming in now, so I suppose we'll get rolling in a minute. Get rolling the
I'll
doobies.
put the link up as well. I'll put the link up if anyone
You,
wants to jump on.
you stick that picture up that I've put up quick. Oh, it's a few pictures.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's make it.
Yeah. So obviously, you know, Klaus Schwab, you was talking about him earlier.
The founder of this
Yeah.
forum, the World Economic Forum.
World Economic Forum. He set it up in what, 1971?
51 years ago. You know,
Yeah. He's 84.
84 years old now, and he's
Yeah.
still doing it.
So he's probably got another 10 years at least.
You never know. With the technology that we got, you never know.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember watching one of his videos in like 2015 and just thinking, wow, shit, man, that's going to be wicked. Like seeing all those like robots and technology taking over. Right, it's probably before 2015, maybe 2010. And then I don't know, the more I learnt about it, the more I just thought it's kind of like authoritarianism. And it's just rich billionaires that want to control everything from resources to energy.
Well,
Yeah.
well, you can't say billionaires. You know, the gas companies are making billions a day. You know, so the trillionaires. But you don't even know who they are sometimes because they don't reveal their income. You know, from
No, no, you don't. A lot of them you don't know who it is. And have you ever heard of the Bilderberg Group? They reckon that
yeah,
the World Economic Forum is like the public version of the Bilderberg Group.
they were secret, and
Yeah,
one journalist was eager to or whatever it was writing stories about them, and then the stories took off eventually, and now everybody knows that. So they had to come clean a few years ago, saying yes, it's been going on. We do this.
yeah.
When it come out, when the news come out, why didn't everybody go crazy? You know, I can't say this on YouTube, so I'll just leave it at that.
But yeah, Henry Kissinger, he was a big like part of it in the 70s and 80s, like World Economic Forum, movers and shakers in that sort of economic world.
NWO in another name. I like this comment. Claus was trained by Kissinger. Here's another one, Kissinger. What role
Yeah,
does he play in the in the um in the WEF?
he'll just be like he's been along to loads of the meetings, and he'll just be an advisor and a speaker, and yeah, because every year they have like a meeting in Davos in Switzerland, in like right up high in the mountains. So it's like highly protected, really hard to get to. And apparently it costs about 100 grand per day for a ticket.
What
So
for the WEF?
yeah,
Wow.
doesn't matter who you are, like whether you're a prime minister or a king or just part of the media, you have to pay. It's about 100 grand. Apparently, World Economic Forum, they have about a 5 billion per year sort of budget. What they're spending it on, I don't know, but that's around about what they're making and spending 5 billion a
I
year,
heard there's around
which isn't that much
3,000.
really.
Yeah, I heard there's around 3,000 attendees in those 5 days. So imagine
Yeah,
100 grand from 3,000 people a day, every day for 5 days. Wow.
yeah.
What's that? Let me get the calculator out. 3,000 times.
You've got like multinational corporations, government
300
members,
million
yeah, per day, and it goes on for
per
like
day.
3 or 4
Wow.
days.
So that's 1.5 billion pounds, just say. In dollars, about $2 billion.
So that's like a quarter of their income just in the forum every year.
And they get the
But
other
I don't
3
really.
billion.
It's not really a profit like company. But then again, people have been moaning and saying, "Well, what are you spending the money on, Klaus? Like, where has all this money gone?" And apparently, he's been spending it on lavish shit like hotels and for his lobbyists, because that's what they do. They send out a lot of lobbyists out into the world, into different governments around the world, in the industries, and they call it the revolving door, like lobbyists, government, and corporations. They're all giving each other backhanders, and yeah, he's even wrote like 3 or 4, I think 4 books. The last book he wrote was the COVID-19, The Great Reset. Someone gave me a copy of that somewhere. I've never read it, but someone was giving them out as like telling people, you got to read it because it's a load of bollocks and like this. Yeah, this is what's going to happen. And I never got around to reading it, but I kind of knew what it was about.
What is the WEF's role in the world? What do they actually do?
You could say they gather all the corporations and companies and governments together to like come up with common goals. Like, um, I'll show you. One instant. What's been going on in Holland? Is it there? They banned. I think 20% of the fertilizer. The Dutch government have banned 20% usage of fertilizer, which was like one of the World Economic Forum's suggestions. And this triggered all like the farmers. I can't find it now. It triggered all the farmers to basically protest against the World Economic Forum and the government and stop farming for a few weeks. Can you see that in large? Is that large or?
Yeah, it's full
No.
screen.
I don't know who made this, but
Is there no sound?
oh, there's no sound. Can you hear it?
No.
Oh, I need to change the settings. We need a third party. Someone's come on and play some videos because I don't know why my sound is shit. Yeah, but all the Dutch farmers, they went and protest, and the Germans as well, because it basically means they're going to lose a lot of their profits, all these farmers, and it's not going to be worth farming anymore to cut down CO2 emissions.
So that means, you know what that means? That means that it could be a plan to buy all the land. Farmers gonna have no business. He's gonna end up with a load of money owed to the bank. So what he's gonna end up doing, he's gonna end up selling all of his equipment and his land.
Companies like Blackstone and BlackRock, they're buying up land, a lot of the land. Who's it? Someone was saying Bill Gates owns a lot of the land in America. George Soros owns the most land in Argentina. Crazy.
One
And
thing
what's
I
the
have to tell,
biggest?
sorry, H. One thing I have to say to the human race right now is to get out of debt. You know, pay off all your debts and be debt free. You know, and then hopefully you won't suffer as bad as the rest that have debt.
Yeah. But they will push, I think, a lot of people into positions where we'll be reliable on everything they do, you know. It's going to be hard to get away from the New World Order, I suppose. Unless you grow local and you buy local food that has been grown locally, if you know what I mean. That's about the only way you can get around it. But then you still have to work and earn money to be able to buy that food. And I don't know, unless you're a farmer or something.
No, Recording Reality has put in the chat that won't help stop paying the debt. No, because if you stop paying the debt, then they're going to have a reason to be out on the streets, locking us down, putting us into martial law. You know, pay it off,
Yeah,
pay it quick.
that's true. Yeah, there's another
So,
thing. I'll show you. The World Economic Forum, they want all humans to use less than 3,000 kilograms of CO2 emissions per year. You got the picture up? Oh yeah, stick the picture on this picture.
yeah.
And shit like this, like they've already got an app on
What's
the
this?
UN's. This is a sort of like
I
carbon
can't see.
calculator.
I can't see the picture. It's because I'm on the
Quite
phone.
small.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
One sec, I'll try with the other device.
So for
Let me
instance,
just see.
like they give everyone 3,000 kilograms per year, but flying on, like going on holiday, that would be 1,000 kilograms. So you'd only be able to go on holiday once a year, if that, if you're even allowed to do that. And people say, oh no, it's a conspiracy theory. They'll never do this, but they're already doing it in China. They're already doing it in China, in parts of China where you can't go into well, you're allowed to go into stores, but the WeChat, it's an app that everyone has in China called WeChat, and you pay all your bills with it, you get paid into it, everything is WeChat. And basically you get to a point where if you've eaten if you've bought too much alcohol or if you bought too much meat, it just doesn't let you buy it. I could even look for videos of like people trying to buy shit and it's just not allowing them. And at the moment in parts of China, they're going through like the COVID. You got to get tested every day before you go to work, and you got to have a green pass on your phone.
Yeah, they've
I
been
mean, I
doing
know it's probably going to be hard to push that on Europeans and the West, and it's a lot easier to push it in China. Yeah, that's a good point. If people ditch their little smartphones, silly little smartphones, it would be screwed. But then it becomes quite hard to live life in certain ways. Well, I notice a lot of old people nowadays, like they're totally technology illiterate. They have no idea how to use a mobile phone or anything, and they're kind of being left behind in a lot of ways.
They've still got the thought process. You can't teach an old man new tricks.
Yeah, like they go home and watch BBC every night, and they'll read the newspaper in the morning. But then, in like I don't know, 20 years to come, when it'll be like China, where you won't be able to buy certain products without it being on an app, it's going to be hard for a lot of people.
This is why you should get rid of your debt now. This is why they don't teach money in schools, you know.
Yeah, they want everyone renting in the future. Is it Zillow? There's a company in America called Zillow. It's like the biggest housing seller in the world. That's another. It's owned by BlackRock as well, and Vanguard, and which are probably members of the World Economic Forum. And yeah, they're buying up a lot of housing estates, like whole estates, housing blocks, and then they're just renting it.
Rent, yeah.
And then they make it really hard around that area to even buy a house.
You see, once they start renting things and owning things, you know, they can set the price at what they want, you know. They're controlling everything else. They're gonna hit us hard with the rent.
Yeah. And
We're gonna have no choice what to do when it goes that low, that we'll accept anything, any handout, because that's what we taught, handouts, you know, when we go that low.
Yeah, apparently there's like 10,000 food banks across the UK right now. Because a lot of people can't afford. They can just afford to pay the bills at the minute.
Right now, the poverty line to them is small, you know. Even if there's like we've got 8 billion people on this planet, you know, there's only how many homeless people in the world?
God knows. 100
Just
million,
say
maybe.
100 million. That's nothing in the 8 billion, and what's to come in the future. You know? So if this plan goes how they want it to go, that number 100 million is going to be in the billions.
Possibly.
Yeah. Let's go back to the list again now.
Oh yeah, I've just put it up actually.
Oh yeah.
You've got the list. Maybe what was it? Stakeholder capitalism. So that's the one thing in the list that I'm still learning about, if I'm honest. I remember Klaus Schwab was going on about the fourth industrial revolution, you know, like AI and Internet of Things all being powered by 5G and 6G. And it all being sort of owned by stakeholders, not shareholders.
What's the difference between the two?
Let's have a look quick. Well, obviously, I think a shareholder is where it's split between like loads of different people. A shareholder is someone who owns stock in your company, while a stakeholder is someone who is impacted by a project you're working on, or has a stake in it.
All right, so it has a bigger piece of the cake. So I can buy 0.00% shares, but the stakeholder has already got 40%. You know?
A stakeholder can be either an individual or a group. So they're just sponsors. I don't know. That's basically where like billionaires can just hide money in companies and not put their name to it, like companies like BlackRock and Vanguard do. No one knows who owns these companies, but they all own each other. It's crazy. Whereas a shareholder is like, I could go and buy a share in anything in the world, and I'll own a tiny bit of that company.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I think DeWitt said earlier, it's like the World Economic Forum saying, "Oh, capitalism is bad," but here you go, here's some more capitalism, but it's in our way, and it's kind of like that, isn't
it? Just when started all this waffle, watching that video with the farmers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once the food goes, once the government, once the man owns all the land, that's it. We're all controlled. He can say, this year I'm not going to grow anything.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what they're doing with the Dutch and the German farmers. They're cutting their profit margins by cutting certain resources, which means they're going to have to go out of business.
Because you know, the reason why we're not doing nothing, and no one's doing nothing, is because we're not living it. Right? We're just talking about it. But if what we're talking about will happen, you know, we should do something about it now to prevent it.
Yeah, it's like once the pandemic protests sort of died out, I thought, is that it, really? I think, obviously, you know, my feelings on it all. I thought the whole thing was like a setup and a charade to sort of You know, people like Kate Shimarani and all that bollocks to keep the people like not rioting, basically. But now's the time, I think people should be out protesting against certain things that are happening in the world at like a really fast rate. And it's just been covered up like by Brexit and the weather and climate change and the pandemic and Ukraine. But really, like underneath all of that is like the World Economic Forum, and its companies who are like profiting majorly from this.
Yeah, they got a strategic plan for the future, you know, and where they want to be in 10 years time or 20 years time.
Yeah, I'll show you their strategic intelligence plan. I did a video on this like 2 years ago. Does it come up? Yeah. But yeah, I found this 2 years ago, and it's just like their entire plan. It's on their website, Strategic Intelligence, wefeforum.org. And at the side, it just has like so many websites, it just goes on and on and on. And it's all to do with like what they're building in the future and all the companies involved. So yeah, you could be here for hours and hours just looking and going through. I don't know, pick one, COVID-19, let's have a look. Misinformation of COVID-19, global governance. And then you can have a look at the side and it'll just, I don't know.
What was before
to another
COVID?
page.
What was what was before COVID?
What on this?
Yeah.
I can't remember now. 5G? No. Global governance?
Yeah, we did nothing then, you know. That circle is just going to get bigger.
Oh yeah.
We're useless, us, the human species. We're useless.
Well, they're just taking our tax money and building things like this to keep us from, you know, having our true say and running the world how it should be run in a way.
How it should be run. The world shouldn't be run at all, you know.
It has to be really something. There has to be some form of system, doesn't there? Really, because you
Yeah,
can't just
system, yeah,
8
because
billion
of the
people can't just
population.
exist without. But this system is it's like it's an unfair monopoly that's just going to be controlled by the wealthy and aristocracy and not shared amongst the people.
It looks like the sun, says Mickey Mouse. It does, doesn't it?
There's even another page where it's got all the things like 3D printing.
Is there a page where it says useless humans?
I doubt it.
Oh.
It's got every country though.
Is there a tab saying manipulation?
Doesn't look like it. Manufacturing. Sustainability.
Where's Danny Shine when you need him? He can tell everybody off for how useless they are.
Yeah. But the fact is that 8 billion people are here, man. What? Obviously, Danny Shine is telling people not to have any more kids, but what we're
Because
going to do with the 8 billion people that are here now, do you know what I mean?
because he's saying that because the 8 billion people that are here don't have a clue what to do without a handout.
Yeah. Well, there is a lot of people out there that, you know, do want good for the world. And then there's a lot of people out there that want to just make money and be greedy and have power over others.
Yeah, that's the problem. But there's less of those people, and there's more of people like me. But than you.
But
But no one's
these
doing
guys own
nothing.
the media, so we can't get a word out.
If I
You
had
know, so
50, no, if I had 50,000 people behind me, I said we'll meet on this day, and 50,000 people turn up. Man, I could do a lot with 50,000 people.
but in a way, I think 50,000 people is just, it's like a drop in the ocean, isn't it?
No, but it's enough for London. It's the city of London.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, you could make, you'd have to be quick to
That'll
like
be
get
enough
something
to,
going.
yeah, that 50,000 people is enough to pick up one car and throw it, you know,
Yeah,
or to pull down some rails, you know. 50,000 people is enough to kick down one door.
but then that would be portrayed by the media as violent, far right thugs
No,
that
but
want
you
to,
got
like the insurrection on January the 6th in America. You know, it'll just be used. You know, the insurrection in Westminster.
the protests. Like I went to the protests. Um, thought something was going to happen, you know. Thought
Yeah,
I wouldn't be sitting in this position that I'm sitting in now, you know. And talking about what we're talking about now, and agreeing that the humans are useless. You know, I thought something was going to happen, but no. Yeah, I thought more people would have turned up. That was the problem. Maybe when the streamers started, you know, it got bigger, but that's all it did. The protest was create more streamers and journalists, independent journalists. But that's what you need on the floor, you know, more independent journalists.
that's it, man.
Hello, did we lose Age?
Hello.
Oh, here we go. So the next thing on the list is the Great Reset. Before we talk about go on the subject, maybe somebody wants to jump on and give us their idea of what they think the Great Reset is. What is going to happen during the Great Reset? What is this so-called Great Reset?
I think it's happening now, I suppose. Whenever there's like a problem, like a pandemic or something like that, they accelerate their policies, and lobbyists, they send them out to the world. For polls.
Look what Mickey Mouse has done.
Big up, man.
He says, as local says, get rid of debt. Don't take it 100%. Life's easier, but sometimes you have to learn not to waste what little you have. Exactly. Well, if you don't have any debt, you can have a lot, you know. But thank you for that super chat. Cheers, man. Legend. I need to get like a little instrument and I can play it for the super chats. I'm not great, or I'd jump on. I always like what you're gonna say next, Mrs. J. What about Leah? You know, she's been supporting the protest community. You know, I know you got your heads full of Great Reset ideas. What you think is gonna happen?
I mean, COVID-19 was just part of that Great Reset, and they'd already put like billions into media companies to fight against misinformation, as they say, and all that, or more like the narrative.
You know, I heard a rumor that during the COVID, the pandemic, America spent more than their history of spending during the pandemic era, the 2 years, 3 years. Was it 2 years? Something like that.
What, during the pandemic?
Yeah. America spent more money than they've ever spent in the history of America.
Right. Over the last 2 years?
Yeah, in that 2 years.
Probably.
And yet all the wars, most of the wars stopped. Well, not stopped, but slowed down, you know, and yet they spent even more money.
Easy shit.
So what is the Great Reset page?
I suppose before the pandemic, the world was, and it is even more so now, but it was getting ravaged by, resources. They were taking resources out of the rainforest and coal out of the ground, and do you know what I mean? Ecosystems were getting destroyed, blah blah blah. Capitalism, overpopulation. They can throw all these things at you, and most of it is probably true to an extent. But then what they want to do is they want to implement like policies around all the governments in the world and the UN as well, who's got that agenda 2030. So they want to implement all these policies to reset like all these old habits that we used to do. Not we, but all these big companies. So in other words, it's basically the big, huge companies are just taking the monopoly of most of the space, right? Basically, not space as in space above the fucking clouds, but like the capitalist space. You know what I mean? They're taking all the opportunities and the policies that are being implemented by governments. Like during the pandemic, all the small shops had to close, but all the big shops were allowed to stay open. Do you know what I mean? That was stuff like that. And a lot of small shops closed and they haven't opened since.
Look, Leah is right. Look, she says, I believe the world will return to generational living as it will become too expensive for grandparents, parents, and grown children to live separately. It will be a small benefit, yet a wonderful one. Well, that's it, you know. Get rid of your debt and then live together, you know, and then you will flourish with the amount of money that you got between each other. A bit like different cultures, you know, when they come to this country, England, they work, they live. So there's like 6 brothers, 5 sisters in the house, 5 wives, sorry, not 5 sisters. All living in one house, and they're all going out earning money. And when they come back, they put it on the same table, you know, and they mix it with one another. Like the Jews as well, they do this, and a lot of other communities. Um, but if everyone was to do that, you would have the world would be different. Everybody wouldn't be in debt. Everybody would be living together as a family.
Yeah,
I don't know, maybe that's one theory.
like it felt before all this technology came.
Or exactly that.
I can remember like knowing most of my family like was within walking distance, and now most of my family like live all around the country now, sort of thing, or in other countries. It's just the way it's happened, I suppose.
How can you be in debt if you are the creditor? Says Seti.
Mm. But then that must mean that you've got to have a product to sell, I suppose, to be the creditor.
Well, no, we pay the tax, you know,
I don't
and then
mean shit though.
the government use that money to put us in debt.
That's a long topic. Is government corruption. But yeah, a lot of them just parrot what's been said at the forum. They were talking about putting like these what are they called? Those like uh not barcodes. I forget what they're called. But they're thinking
Yeah.
about putting them on clothes, so that you have to keep reselling it and reselling it like clothes, because they want to cut down on people buying clothes as well.
Goes back to that chart, that mobile chart that you brought up earlier.
Sure.
You know, the little mobile phone thing. It looked like the mobile anyway from the phone, from the
Oh
picture,
yeah.
and it had the limits to what you can use
Yeah.
and consume.
I'll get it up again. Yeah, like meat as well. They want to get everyone down to meat consumption.
Yeah, man. If anyone wants to jump on, the link is pinned. Yeah, QR codes.
QR codes. That's the one.
We are the money. You are the product. So, with regards to the Great Reset again, how do you think it will be like enforced? Would it be quick?
No, they've been at it for years, chipping away,
But
lobbying certain people.
but isn't there going to be a day where just everything changes, everything goes up, all the prices go up, you know, all the electricity bills go up even more, 1,000%. Meat
I
prices will
think that
go up.
started 2 years ago, didn't it?
No, but it will all skyrocket.
But then it'll skyrocket to a point where you can't like get oil out the ground and no one will want to work. So then, I don't know, the system will just collapse on itself. And it becomes an anarchy. Or civil wars break out everywhere. I don't know.
Leah's put in the chat, if a person is healthy but unemployed and homeless, they should be housed and given benefits for 1 year. During that year, they should be forced to work and save their earnings and then go on their own. No, they won't have nothing if food prices are a lot. Benefits will just last on food. And if they're addicted to something like cigarettes, right now, my packet of cigarettes are £12.30 a pack. Imagine if I buy one every day, that's £80, more than £80 a week. So that comes to how much a month? And then just think of food prices. Just a bit of steak is like 4 slices is £8, and 2 chicken fillets is the cheapest is like around the £3 mark. Imagine that goes to £8 or £10 just for 2 fillets.
Yeah, man. Crazy. I would say it's companies like BlackRock and Vanguard and Berkshire Hathaway and State Street and JP Morgan, they're the ones that have like orchestrated this whole thing. Because they're the biggest landowners, they're the biggest owners of the companies that own all the oil. They're the companies that own all of the farming, the food processing. They own all the transport companies. So yeah, they can just ramp the price up on all of it. And then that's why you're seeing all these companies like BP and stuff, they're going to be making record profits.
I read an article the other day that the farming land that was sold in America last year, Bill Gates and China are the two main ones that were in the article. So Bill Gates bought 250,000 acres of land in America, farming land, and China have only bought like 25,000, not even that, like 10,000 acres of land. Why has Bill Gates bought more land? He's already got like 2 million acres of land.
Yeah. Maybe he thinks that his plant-based fucking burgers are gonna go off.
Yeah, Leo, but you said...
Hey.
Oh, sorry, go on, Age.
No, that's good.
Okay, so Leah says, cigarettes are a luxury. If a person is starving, they won't be worried about money for cigarettes. At least I hope not. I was referring to the cigarettes in the year you would help the homeless, house them, and give them benefits for a year. I said the money will be wasted on food. And I did say if this homeless person has an addiction, such as cigarettes, instead of wasting that money on new pair of shoes or whatever, they're gonna waste it on cigarettes. And because they're what they're gonna be doing, you're gonna have to force them to work. So
I suppose land reform, like giving land away, because there's a lot of land just sitting there doing nothing. You could give it away to people to like build gardens or even like new housing estates, but then that would go on to greenbelt. But there's a lot of land that could be used.
Russia and China have brought most of the gold.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, they've bought most of the amount of gold available left. That there is available to buy, that they can buy. They were the most out of the little amount of gold left. Bill Gates is not growing food. What do you mean by food? Like trees, or fruit, vegetable? What kind of? What is he buying up? Is he buying the wheat? You need wheat for a lot of things in this day and age. Everyone's going vegan and vegetarian and all that shit. So wheat is a must.
Mhm.
Yeah, China, look, as of 2022, China owns over 190,000 acres in the US. See, so, but in 2021, they only bought like a small number. Bill Gates, Leo, check how much Bill Gates has.
109,000 acres. Wow,
If you can, please.
it's a lot.
Oh, Leo, but as I know it, humans they tend to drift away sometimes. So what happens if you look? So Leah says you don't give them money, you give them housing and food, clothing, etc. And their earnings would go into a bank they couldn't touch until they left the program to live on their own. So if they didn't pass the program, then what? Just gonna chuck them back out. Yes, eating as a vegan. Well, I went out. Me and Danny Sham were riding, and he's like, "Oh, I'm hungry. Oh, but I'm vegan though." So we're like,
That's fucking hard, man. I know it's getting easier, I suppose.
yeah. So we went to one place, a vegan place. Just a little thing. Wow. I just ate it like 4 bites, and it was 5 bites. It was finished. And it cost me like 20 quid.
Fucking hell, man. It's like Michelin star prices.
We didn't have masks on, so they made us stand in the corner because we didn't have masks. Everyone had masks on in the shop. Yeah. But 20 quid for just a little wrap. Oh, wow. I couldn't even wrap it. You just had to fold it in half. No, Bill Gates has, what is that? How much they brought? Oh,
242,000.
no. I think it's more than that. I read there's more. So if they put on the next live stream or in my community post, I'll post it. Or when I see it on a live stream, I'll say, go to this. If I'm a mod, I'll post it quickly. You click on it, and then I'll delete it.
Yeah, that's just farming. There's a lot of, you know,
There
other stuff.
isn't. Look, Mr. J has written. There isn't enough housing. Full stop. Mrs. J. When I look outside the window behind me, there's a whole block of flats empty because one bedroom flats here are just over 150,000 just for one bedroom,
That's the
and it
prices then.
doesn't even have a garden. Yeah,
the prices are too high. People can't afford them.
Yeah, I met a council guy sticking up some posters in the corridors because my mate lives in one of the towers, but it's a council property. So I spoke to him and I'm like, why is that block of flats next to us empty, all empty? The lights are always off. And he's like, private owned. I'm like, so how much do they go for? And like over 100, like 165,000 for one bedroom.
Wow, that's a lot.
Danny Shine could have just stopped and eaten some grass. True. That was just, in capital letters, farmland local. Maybe that's what I read, like all together. Bill Gates has got more than China.
Why is China buying up American land? That's weird.
Sorry, what was that?
Why is China buying up housing, farmland in America?
Oh, why do you think? Just to get a bit of hand on it. Why are all the houses
Just
in
be taken
London?
off them, right?
It's like asking why is all the houses in London owned by not the civilians of England, London, you know? The people, actual people living there, they're all empty. I put something when I was riding. I put something there, and the next protest, I would pass it, and the thing was still there.
Fuck me, nearly 12.
Housing will crash. Who knows? I don't watch TV or anything like that. I try and stay off the politics. I thought this would be a hard subject for me to talk about, the World Economic Forum.
It's just like another institution, like the United Nations, the World Health Organization, International Monetary Fund. This
Well,
one's
look,
just for
put
economics.
the list back up if you can. We still got number 5.
What was number 5? Oh, we're kind of going through that now.
The gangsters.
The gangsters.
The stakeholders.
The waffle houses. Rockefeller Center.
Look what Leah's put. China owns 45% of New York's famous Rockefeller Center. Why would they own such a historic building?
It was it last week? Rishi Sunak, do you know Rishi Sunak? He was saying that he wants to tackle China. That's going to be his main thing if he becomes the prime minister, because he reckons that they have within like British universities and schools, there's like Chinese spies and all that. He was saying and shit like that. That would just appeal to like a certain section of people, I suppose.
See, this is why somebody needs to jump on, because I don't have a clue politics. Like with the new mayor, the new prime minister, I don't know none of their names. I haven't watched nothing about them. I don't care.
We should do it in a couple of weeks then, maybe. Like, I think it's in 3 weeks. We should do a night.
No, I don't care about the news,
No, British politics. We should do like one of the talks about that. The night of whenever it is. I don't know. In 3 or 4 weeks, when they decide who's going to be the leader. Be a good subject to go through. I know there's a few people that know their shit on that.
I wouldn't be the leader.
You wouldn't?
No, I would. I want to be the leader.
You want to be the prime minister?
Yeah. I'll be like to the circle, the people sitting around the circle table, yeah?
Yeah.
First day on the job, or before the first day of the job, I'll go meet these people sitting at the round table, and they're going to say this to me, and they're going to say that to me, and I'm going to say, fuck you. That's what I'm going to say to them. And then I'm going to go on my first day, and I'm just going to write a plan and just say all on my first day. This is how it's going to be. Whether I'm here or not here, this is how it's going to be.
I don't think they allow people like that into power.
Yeah, I know. I'll get the bulldozers on my first day. I'll get the bulldozers out. That's what I'll do. And bulldoze a couple of buildings. That's what I'll do on my first day of the job.
I'd be the health minister and legalize the weed. Put it on the NHS, innit? For all who require.
As the cabinet, I will have my family as my cabinet. People I can trust.
Maybe they should get rid of the House of Lords and have like a people's parliament.
Yeah, people's parliament. Yes, I'll attend all the time. If it was in London, I'll attend all the time. So we got Klaus Schwab as the founder of the great WEF. Who's the who's second?
God knows. Fuck knows.
Another powerful. Now who's the biggest donator?
Probably the Bill Gates Foundation or something.
Oh,
Let's have a look.
Bill Gates and Melinda Foundation.
No. Let's see.
In the chat, does anyone in the chat know? Someone in the chat could probably find it. The biggest contributor.
It's not really like a charity as such. It's
Yeah,
more
no,
like
I
a
know.
place where
I know.
all the big companies get together and like change shit within their countries, but they're
Okay,
all
so
aligned as one.
all right, so not contributed. Who's made the most money out of being in this good gang?
Ooh. Probably Elon Musk, I suppose.
Elon.
Yeah, well, he like tripled his money in the last like 2 or 3 years. Whether that's because of the World Economic Forum or not, I don't know.
We've got someone in the chat that knows a lot about Elon Musk by the name of Recorded Reality page. I learned a lot about Elon Musk last week, what he's doing and what he's planning on doing, and all of the Mars and all of that stuff. Elon Musk, Elon Musk, Elon Musk. But he's not a member. What? You think he's a member of the forum?
Well, I don't think it's like a membership as such. You go there every year, like whether he's been there or not, I don't know. Surely he has. He must have been there at least once in the last like 20 odd years. I don't know though.
Miami Rose thinks he is
What?
a member. World Economic Forum member. Elon. Is Amber Heard here? Oh, God. Who watched her trial? Oh, my days. That was the joke of the century. That was all over YouTube, man. Fuck, I didn't get no other recommendations apart from that. You watch one, oh, my days, it fucks up your YouTube. Just see videos everywhere of it. That's what technology does, though, isn't it? Brainwashes. It makes you want to see what it wants to see.
AI bots. not got nothing decent to say himself, so likes to go around causing trouble for other people. Sad. Jeff Bezos, definitely, he's part of it.
Oh yeah. Oh my days. Have you seen a few of his speeches? Oh, interviews. Oh, wow. I'd prefer watching Elon Musk all day than Jeff Bezos videos.
That's basically what they're doing now, is just squeezing economies down. Down, down, down. They did it in the 70s with like the coal and the coal industries and closed all the pits. Now they're doing it with other things.
The socialists will like this. I'm talking about work. I'm kind of a
Pretty
socialist.
similar to what's happening in the 70s, actually. Just different.
I'm kind of a socialist now, man. You know, I base everything on my work.
Wouldn't that be like capitalism?
Or in a way, yeah, capitalism as well. You know, but without your job, you can't own anything or own what you want. Not what more you want, just what you want.
I know Prince Andrew used to go to the WEF all the time.
The who? Epstein Island.
No, yeah, he probably went to Epstein Island and then went to the World Economic Forum on the way.
Who are we talking about? Andrew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go. All Mickey Mouse says, all these rich people are in a rich boys club. Equals sign, asks Prince Andrew. Oh yeah, Elon Musk's father was a total technocratic back in the 70s and wanted a technographic government and had a big organization devoted to it. Yeah. The list. Kissinger. Someone mentioned about Kissinger. Klaus Schwartz is a is that his name? Swout. What's his name?
Henry Kissinger, I know he used to go to like all the meetings in the 70s and 80s and probably still does now. He was like a big follower of the World Economic Forum years ago, trying to push that.
There was a recent picture I saw of him and Prince Charles together. Last year, I think, this year. In one picture, I see Kissinger putting his finger to Prince Charles. That says a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, man, that's what they're all on, isn't it? Just the rich person's club, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's all it is. But they've got such a tight hold on everything now. It's a bit late. Everyone's just got to ride it out in their own different way, or stand up and protest against it. But I don't know.
Leah is a fan of Kissinger. And he's still alive at 99. What age did Rockefeller pass away?
Oh, God knows.
He had like 7 hearts transplants or something like that. 7 different hearts.
Yeah, I think 97. Right. I think that's about it, though, isn't it? Hour and a half.
Yeah, man. I think we've covered it all. What do you think?
Mainly. Yeah, you could go on for hours and hours, but
Yeah. Oh, I know someone that knows. Oh, look, Rockefeller was 97.
sheesh, that's a lot.
Yeah, look, he had 7 transplants. Look, they get argument says they get their body part replacements from India. I wonder, man, do they get it from the kids and then they grow it to what size they want to grow it to?
All that technology at their hands, they must
Yeah.
have, like, don't know.
Soros, yeah, he's another one. He's in his 90s as well. Fucking hell. Have you seen how he looks? He was talking recently.
They just have nice lives, man, I suppose. Don't have to lift a finger. Eat the best food, the best healthcare.
Oh yeah. All right, man. I think we've touched on all 5 um, bullet points.
Yeah, man. It's been good.
Yeah. All right then.
Should, maybe
If
chat
that's
about.
it, do you wanna
Yeah.
add anything? Do you wanna say? Yeah, go on. What was you gonna say?
I don't know. No, that was it, really. I've got a good subject next week we could chat about, but yeah,
Oh yeah.
there's enough subjects.
Next week. Wait, hold on. Next week. No, we can't do next week. We
Yeah,
can't do Thursdays at least. We have to. Yeah, I think I have to change the days. Um,
maybe Wednesday
maybe
or something,
no. We do
or
Mondays.
Monday. Yeah. All right, I can do that.
You know, it's like my last day, and then my second last day, third last day, fourth last day.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so next week I think we're gonna start doing the live streams on Monday. What's the date? Not this Monday, not the 8th of August, but the 15th of August.
Yeah.
So we'll see everyone on the 15th of August. Thank you, HKs, again,
Big
every
up,
week.
man, big up.
Yeah, man, big up to HKs. Any mods in the chat, put his channel, and you guys in the chat go over and subscribe to him, man. Let's get him to 1,000 subscribers.
Have a good evening, all.
Yeah,
Good
man.
chat.
Thank you to everybody. Yeah, thanks to everyone in the chat. Thanks to Mickey Mouse as well. You're a legend. Yeah, thanks to everyone for joining in, for commenting and everything like that, taking part. So we'll catch you on next week on the 15th of August. That's a Monday, around the same time. Yeah.
Big up.
Yeah. Big up. Big up.